Tonight, we take a closer look at the widening gap between the bold promises made by political leaders and the economic realities faced by everyday Americans. While campaign speeches often paint a picture of prosperity and growth, the truth on the ground can be far more complicated and challenging. President Donald Trump pledged to revive American manufacturing, promising a return to Made in the USA glory. His message resonated with millions, especially in regions where factories once formed the backbone of local economies. This vision inspired hope in communities hit hard by factory closures and job losses. For many, it was a promise of renewed opportunity, a chance to rebuild lives and restore pride in American industry. The administration has celebrated every new factory opening and investment as proof of its success, highlighting these moments as evidence that the tide was turning for American workers. But today, that optimistic narrative faces a major test, as new challenges emerge and old wounds are reopened. Toyota, a major U.S. employer and a symbol of global manufacturing, has announced the temporary shutdown of several American plants, sending shockwaves through the industry and local communities alike. This move shakes the very sector the president vowed to protect, leaving workers and families uncertain about their future and the stability of their livelihoods. The shutdown is more than just a business decision. It's a symbol of the complex, often unpredictable forces shaping our economy, from global supply chains to shifting consumer demand. As the administration touts economic victories and points to positive statistics, this closure forces a national conversation. Are these policies truly creating lasting growth, or are they vulnerable to global pressures and unforeseen disruptions? The Toyota shutdown compels us to look past headlines and political rhetoric, urging us to confront the real relationship between political ambition and economic reality, and to ask what it will truly take to deliver on the promise of prosperity for all Americans. Toyota's story in America is one of deep investment and growth. For decades, Toyota has built plants across the U.S., creating tens of thousands of jobs and fueling local economies. The company became a symbol of how foreign investment could drive American prosperity. President Trump has often pressured automakers, including Toyota, to build more in the U.S. and align with his job creation agenda. He's claimed credit for new investments, using them as evidence of his policy's success. But the reality is more complicated. Economists note that corporate decisions are shaped by long-term strategy, market demand, and global logistics, not just political pressure. Toyota's growth in America is the result of decades of business planning, not the actions of any single administration. This context sets the stage for today's challenging news. The shutdown highlights the limits of political influence over global business realities. This morning, Toyota Motor North America announced an indefinite shutdown at 3 major U.S. plants. The affected factories in Kentucky, Indiana, and Texas employ over 20,000 American workers. The reason: a critical shortage of electronic components from Southeast Asia. Toyota's statement focused on logistics, not politics, emphasizing their efforts to resolve the issue and support workers. The White House quickly downplayed the shutdown, calling it a temporary, isolated incident unrelated to broader economic policy. The administration insisted that the U.S. manufacturing environment remains strong. This contrast in messaging reveals a deeper conflict. Toyota speaks of supply chain realities. The administration speaks of policy victories. For workers, the truth lies somewhere in between, caught between global disruptions and political narratives. The shutdown exposes the fragile balance between corporate strategy and government messaging. It's a stark reminder of how quickly global issues can impact American jobs. The immediate impact of the shutdown is felt by thousands of American workers facing sudden uncertainty. For many, this means not just the loss of a paycheck, but also the anxiety of not knowing when, or if, they'll return to work. Families who depend on these jobs are left to wonder about their future, and the ripple effects are felt far beyond the factory gates. Local economies around the plants will feel the strain, as small businesses lose vital income. Restaurants, shops, and service providers that rely on factory workers as customers see their revenues drop, threatening their own survival. The shutdown doesn't just affect those on the assembly line, it touches every corner of the community. For President Trump, the timing is problematic. An idle Toyota plant undercuts claims of a manufacturing boom. The administration's promises of job growth and economic revival are put to the test as images of shuttered factories dominate the news and raise tough questions about the strength of American industry. The shutdown also reverberates through US-Japan business relations, as Toyota is a key investor and symbol of partnership. The closure sends shockwaves through diplomatic and economic channels, highlighting the deep interdependence between the two nations and the fragility of even the strongest alliances. Even strong corporate ties can't shield against global disruptions. No matter how robust the relationships, unexpected events can bring production to a standstill, forcing companies to rethink their strategies and priorities. This event may prompt other international firms to reconsider their own supply chain risks. Companies around the world are now reevaluating how they source materials, manage logistics, and prepare for unforeseen challenges, knowing that a single weak link can have far-reaching consequences. Ultimately, the closure illustrates a hard truth. No country is immune to global shocks. The interconnectedness of today's world means that disruptions in one region can quickly spread, affecting workers and businesses everywhere. A disruption halfway around the world can halt an American assembly line in days. The flow of parts and materials is so tightly linked that even a minor delay can have major consequences, highlighting the vulnerability of just-in-time manufacturing. Securing American jobs now means managing complex international connections, not just domestic policy. Leaders and companies must navigate a web of global relationships, balancing national interests with the realities of international trade and cooperation. The shutdown challenges the idea of a purely national manufacturing base. In today's world, no factory operates in isolation. Every product is the result of a vast interconnected network that spans continents. It's a lesson in the realities of a global economy. The story of one factory's closure is, in truth, a story about how deeply our lives and livelihoods are tied to the rest of the world. To understand the bigger picture and the hidden challenges facing American manufacturing, we spoke with Dr. Emily Carter, a renowned global supply chain expert with decades of experience navigating complex international networks. She explains that political rhetoric, no matter how strong, can't control the unpredictable events that disrupt manufacturing, like sudden natural disasters, unexpected geopolitical tensions, or overseas labor disputes that can erupt without warning. The just-in-time model, which many companies rely on to maximize efficiency and minimize costs, leaves little room for error. A single disruption, even a minor one, can halt production lines and ripple through the entire economy. Dr. Carter warns that while global supply chains have helped cut costs and boost profits, they also concentrate risk in ways that are often invisible until a crisis hits. Focusing only on tariffs and trade deals misses the deeper vulnerability, operational fragility that can't be fixed with quick policy announcements or political promises. Real economic security comes from building resilient supply networks, not just announcing new factories. That means diversifying suppliers across regions, investing in domestic production of key components, developing advanced manufacturing technologies, and collaborating internationally to share best practices and resources. It's not glamorous and it rarely makes headlines, but it's essential for long-term job security and the stability of entire communities that depend on these jobs. The Toyota shutdown should be a wake-up call for policymakers and business leaders alike, a signal that smarter, more realistic manufacturing policy is urgently needed. Without this fundamental shift in approach, American workers will remain exposed to global shocks and disruptions that are beyond any president's or politician's control. The lesson is clear: resilience, not rhetoric, is the true key to sustainable growth and a secure future for American manufacturing. The Trump administration's narrative of a manufacturing renaissance often relies on selective data. While some jobs have returned, overall numbers remain below historic peaks. The story is more complex, shaped by automation, skills shifts, and global competition. The administration has a pattern of exaggerating economic wins, with many high-profile deals later scaled back or clarified. The Toyota shutdown fits this pattern, where grand announcements collide with global realities. Inflated claims can stifle honest debate and delay real solutions. If the public believes the problem is solved, there's less urgency to address workforce training or supply chain risks. The Toyota case shows that real economic security depends on facts and resilient systems, not just bold pronouncements. The numbers on the ground keep political storytelling in check. The Trump administration's direct approach puts intense pressure on companies like Toyota. Public demands to align with America First create a challenging environment for global corporations. Toyota's response to the shutdown has been carefully non-political, focusing on logistics and operational realities. This allows the company to maintain independence and credibility while avoiding political battles. The incident highlights the tension between political timelines and corporate strategy. Presidents seek quick wins. Corporations plan for decades. This mismatch means political demands may not fit long-term business goals. Toyota's careful communication shows the limits of political influence over global business. Ultimately, companies act on market forces, not just political pressure. Beyond policy debates, the real story is about people. Workers in Kentucky, Indiana, and Texas now face lost income and uncertainty. Local businesses dependent on the plants are hit hard. Economic promises from Washington translate into real-world consequences for families. The shutdown feels like a betrayal to communities' promised security and growth. It erodes trust in leaders' ability to protect American workers. Modern manufacturing jobs are highly skilled and deeply tied to global technology. The disruption shows how an auto worker's job in Indiana depends on microchips from Asia. This demands a new focus on workforce development and tech-driven skills. The human cost grounds the debate in reality, reminding us what's truly at stake. The Toyota shutdown is a lesson in looking beyond headlines. It challenges us to question simple political messages and engage with economic complexity. True understanding comes from seeking facts, not just slogans. Accurate information is essential for sound policy and public debate. The shutdown reveals a larger vulnerability in our economic system. Acknowledging that is the first step toward real solutions. We must demand more depth and honesty from our leaders and ourselves. Economic strength is built on planning, investment, and a clear-eyed view of global realities. The empty assembly lines are a powerful reminder of that truth. Thank you for watching. Good night.